What's up, everyone? My name is Alessandra. I'm a 25-year-old entrepreneur, best-selling author, and professional speaker. Did I always know I wanted to be an author and entrepreneur? Today I'm going to be answering all of your how and why questions that you're thinking of right now. I grew up in Northeast Ohio. I'm the youngest of 3 kids. I was a competitive dancer, I cheered for my school, and I competed in beauty pageants. However, my true passion always was writing. As a little girl, I constantly was writing, whether it was a story in my journal or even my mom's grocery list. I always had a pen and a piece of paper in my hand. So I knew at a very young age that I loved to write. When I graduated high school, I committed to Pepperdine University. I took that leap of faith to move over 2,000 miles from my hometown because I knew I needed to grow and I needed to evolve, and I really wanted to know what my purpose was in this life. Pepperdine was the defining moment in my life to guide me to my purpose. While at Pepperdine, I actually majored in journalism for the first year. I thought that my passion for writing meant I wanted to become a journalist, but after a year in journalism school, I quickly learned that that was not where I wanted to be in my future, and rather I would find something else that fit it better. And even at that time, at 19, I still didn't know that my passion for writing would ultimately lead me into becoming an entrepreneur and a best-selling author. During my time at Pepperdine, I was approached with a unique opportunity to star on a docudrama produced by Viacom and Awesomeness TV. It was called Malibu Surf. Initially, I wasn't quite sure what all it would entail. I never had done acting or film or TV in that matter, but it was such a unique experience, and it really opened my eyes to this whole world of creating and how behind the scenes there's so much that goes on, more than you could ever imagine. It was such an experience for me to see all that and to see the passion behind the individuals who worked there and loved what they were doing, and that really made me want to find my purpose even more than I already had. When I graduated from Pepperdine, I worked in PR for a little bit. My degree was marketing and communications. I did not love it. So if you're someone that's watching this and you're at a point in your life where you don't know where your next move is, but you know where you're at is not right, I challenge you to take that leap of faith and go out on a whim and try something different, or just leave where you're at. I truly believe that when you take yourself out of rooms you don't belong, you end up owning the whole house. That's one of my absolute favorite quotes, and I think it has so much meaning in so many aspects of our life. I ended up leaving my PR firm, and that month that I left my PR firm, my grandpa had passed away, and just within a month later, around Valentine's Day, my grandma passed away. It really encouraged me that it's now or never. Like, you don't know how long you have in this world, and if you're not doing the things you're passionate about in life, then what are you doing? So how did I start? How did I become an entrepreneur? How did I think of this idea of creating a brand called A Love Letter to Co? And I think that all started when I realized that we rely so much on other people for validation, love, value, and worth, when really all of that comes from within. And that is why I named my journal A Love Letter to Me. We need to give more love and attention to ourselves, so then we're able to give more to other people. If we're not filling our cup first, we couldn't possibly expect ourselves to help fill other people's cup as well. I wrote A Love Letter to Me, a partially guided daily journal that will push you on a self-love and self-help journey. It's filled with inspirational quotes, messages, and activities that you can incorporate into your daily life. I've found journaling to be such a great outlet. No matter what you're going through in life, it helps just break down those thoughts and emotions that can become piled up throughout your everyday life. We all have stress that goes on every single day. There's constant changing in our life, and if we're not working through that in therapy or in journaling or in meditation or in exercise, then that is just stacking up there. It's like your laundry. If you don't do your laundry, it's just going to eventually come higher and higher and higher in your hamper. So I always encourage people to grab a journal, start by making a list of goals, maybe write down one thought you had throughout the day, and slowly you're going to open up that portion of your mind to start spewing those thoughts and emotions that have become a little chaotic in your brain. After I created my journal, I didn't really know what was next. I didn't have any intention of writing the book that I ended up writing. I was born with an atrial septal defect, which is a hole between the top 2 chambers of my heart. My biggest challenge of life was given to me on my first day in this world. easily it could have become a negative for my family and for I, however we used it, and recognized it as a greater symbol of purpose and life and meaning. We're all here for a specific purpose, and it's our goal to find that purpose. And as I got older, I realized what a strong message that is to everyone. I'm in my 20s. I think one of the biggest things we go through in our 20s is heartbreak. And it becomes such a draining experience. It becomes a disheartening experience. And a lot of times we find ourselves at our lowest points because we rely on other people to uplift us and tell us our value, when really the most important thing is to find our value through ourselves and determine that on our own. My heart's battle cry takes you on this journey of finding yourself, finding that fulfillment through your own passions, your own desires, and turning those difficult times, whether it's heartbreak or a different obstacle in your life, turning that downfall into a breakthrough, and how those are really meant to mold us and to help us become stronger. We go through difficult things thinking they're going to bring us down, but actually they propel us farther than we ever thought that we could go. After writing my journal and publishing my book, I decided to start my own company and brand called A Love Letter To Co., which encourages individuals to optimize on the ability to learn and grow through shared life experiences. We hope to inspire, drive, and encourage individuals to follow their passions and live their life to the fullest. We all are creators, so why not choose to create a life that you love? After I created my 2 products and I launched my brand and my company, I thought to myself, where do I go next? It was always a dream of mine when I was little. I used to walk around Walmart and with my mom looking for groceries and things that she needed for the house, and I would get to the book section and think, oh my gosh, how cool would it be to see my name on that shelf? So my first target was Walmart. How do I get myself in Walmart? I consistently reached out, I emailed, I messaged people on LinkedIn until I got to the person that I was supposed to get to. And she said, wow, we actually are working with young female entrepreneurs that work in self-help and wellness, and that really described who I was, and it was such a meant to be thing. And so my products are also available on Walmart, which has been the biggest blessing. It has given me a foundation to go on and now speak at different entrepreneurial events, women-centric events, and one of my favorite things is speaking at different universities to young women like me who have the wildest dreams that are so possible if they believe in themselves and they work hard and follow those passions. Being an entrepreneur or being involved in business in any aspect basically means you're going to be very busy. My friends always joke, they're like, you're the one who didn't want to work the 9 to 5, but now works from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and it's so true. I love what I do, so it doesn't feel like work to me. I just work constantly, and I love developing and growing and seeing that growth come to life and seeing how I'm impacting people and meeting with new people and learning from other people in the industry. But I think what's so important is having your sanctuary, having your routine. So for me, a morning routine is essential. I will say if I don't do my morning routine, it kind of throws me off throughout the day. Now, I bet you're wondering, do you journal? I do, but I don't always journal in the morning. I have not incorporated the journaling into my morning routine because if you're getting into journaling, it can't be a forceful thing. It has to be, you have to be in the mood to want to dig deeper, and sometimes I'm not ready for that in the morning. So some mornings I'll journal, sometimes I won't journal till night, some days I won't journal at all. It just depends. I don't force myself. I let it be a natural thing, and that feels a lot more comfortable for me and also keeps me persistent with journaling throughout the year. I'm sure many of you are wondering, what's the biggest struggle I faced in becoming an entrepreneur, growing my brand and my business? Well, I think for me, the biggest thing is to keep that motivation and keep that persistence and consistency going. At first, it's a high because everyone's like, wow, like this is great. It's so exciting and you have all the attention and everything coming in, and then slowly people kind of fade away and do their own thing and focus on their own life. And that's with anything in life, and I think that's the biggest lesson on top of the biggest struggle that I faced is that customer retention all stems from your consistency and your persistence and your want to continue to evolve with your customers and grow, and also not be reliant on the hype. And I think the second biggest lesson that I've learned is that you can find inspiration through anything in life. Even the most minuscule, mundane things that you do in life, you can always find inspiration and value in those. So pay attention to what you're going through and what you're doing in life, because you might not realize that the one thing that could help push you over the edge is found in that experience. And while I've had some incredible yeses, and while my book was named a bestseller at Barnes & Noble in August of 2023, I've also had so many no's and so many failures. And I think that's what comes with the whole lifespan of a startup or of an entrepreneur, is you're gonna fail more times than you're going to succeed. But that's where you learn, and that's where you develop, and that's where you find that perfection that is needed to win that yes. I always tell everybody, when you take actions towards achieving your dreams and your goals, you always exceed your expectations. No one ever thinks they're ready to actually do it until you step foot in that arena. You do it and you realize, wow, like, I've been ready for this my whole life. This is exactly where I belong. So don't ever feel like you aren't ready or you aren't there, because you are. You wouldn't have that passion, you wouldn't have that dream placed on your heart if it wasn't meant for you and you weren't ready for it. Lastly, I will say it is so important to hone in on your vulnerabilities. Being a vulnerable person will help you succeed in life. And when we become vulnerable and we let our vulnerability out, we do find our strengths and our purposes. It really all comes down to, if you don't open yourself up and you don't try and you don't risk being embarrassed, if you want to say, or failing, then you're never actually going to make it. So if you are watching this video and you are on the brink of releasing a product, writing a book, going to college, whatever that is that you're sitting there and dwelling on, my message to you is be vulnerable, trust yourself, and do it. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more wellness, lifestyle, and entrepreneurship content right here on A Love Letter to Alessandra.